So this video I'm going to give you not a song specific tutorial, but a tutorial on a set of 4 or sort of 6 chords that go together in the key of E, and most of them are what we call power chords that are a replacement for bar chords. So let me show you what I mean. Instead of so C sharp minor is in the key of E, very common chord. The bar chord is this. The power chord is going to sound something like this instead. And then for B, it goes to this. I'm going to show you what these are in a second. From A, you're going to have something like this. And even E, you know, instead of this is the bar chord, the power chord. And the extra 2 I'm going to show you are another A and B. And those are more chord inversions as well as power chords. So it's really handy for worship music where you're playing in the key of E a lot. I do that a lot in my church. And especially for fast chord changes, as well as just honestly ease of play, especially when you're strumming through the whole chord. I wouldn't recommend these power chords most of the time for when you're finger picking. You're going to want to do the bar chords. But the rest of the time, honestly, this is what I default to, is these power chords. So let me show you. We're going to start with that C sharp minor again, and I'll show you exactly what the chord is. So honestly, if you wanted to teach yourself where things are on your fretboard, you might start with a C sharp minor bar chord if you know that one. So find your index finger on the 4th fret of the A string. The string above that, the D string, is 2 frets up with your ring finger. And then your pinky is the one just above that on the G string. And then actually the 2 notes above it, the B and the E, are in that key. So if you wanted to change the key of G, you can't just slide everything up. You can't just... So stick with the key of E. So C sharp minor. As opposed to the bar chord where you would lay down that finger. This finger's in the same 2 spots, and then your middle finger would be in the 5th fret on the B string. So that's the bar chord. So the power chord, super simple. Now hold your hand there, and I'm going to show you the B, which is to slide 2 frets down. So you're finding your index finger, which is usually what I follow because that's the root note. Slide it down to the 2nd fret with the 4th frets for these 2. And that's a B. So C sharp minor, B, and then down to A is sort of that, except you take off your index finger because it's sort of past that. And you have the A string playing the A anyway. See that? And so these notes kind of create a cool drone effect when you do kind of a... So those are the shapes of the chords. And then the same for what I'm calling a variant of the E, which is the same shape, but you find the 7th fret at that same A string, the same shape. A lot of people will switch to this, which you can, but in this key it's so nice to keep that same shape. And then especially if you're going to a regular E, you can kind of see how I can go you often do in the key of E. So I would recommend finding a chord progression. You can honestly play around with those 4 chords, E, A, B, and C sharp minor, and have a lot of fun with them in different orders. But let's say for practice now, we'll do an E, A, C sharp minor, B. So just kind of maybe strum with me if you want to practice. So there's those. Now, occasionally in the key of E, you're gonna find. I'm gonna give you a 7th chord, real quick, that you can learn, which is a C sharp or an F sharp minor. So the bar chord of that is this right here. But especially so close to the nut here, it's kind of like a B chord. It's hard to hold down. And honestly, I want that kind of constant sound that I like when I strum in certain styles. So an F sharp minor is going to be a little trickier than what I just showed you. You're going to take your ring finger and place it on the 4th fret of the A string, and then your pinky on the D string in the same fret just below it. And then your index finger, find the G string in the 2nd fret. So if you find that shape, and try not to play the lowest note, the E. Start with here if you can. And if you, oftentimes when I'm strumming really hard, I like to wrap my thumb around and mute it. That's just a habit that I do. And occasionally you'll get a G sharp minor in the key of E, which is just sliding up, but you won't often get that one. So again, so yeah, beautiful chords that I love to strum in worship songs. So actually, just today in my church we played Rescuer by Rend Collective, and it has a lot of changes between these same chords because we play in key of E. Yeah, it's really easy. Now the last 2 chords I want to show you really quick are variants of A and B, which are this and this. Really good for getting some variation in your playing there, especially if you've got 2 guitars going on at once. It's really nice. Or maybe during a bridge or some part where the song is taking a different turn. So find the main E shape, and then slide it up to where your middle finger, again, I like to follow these lower notes. Your middle finger is on the 7th fret. So it's 7th fret on the A string, 7th fret on the D string with your ring finger, and then 6th fret on the G string. And that is a variation of the key of the note A. And if you want to think in terms of a bar chord, it's literally, you can hold it like this instead of like this, and then add back the bar chord. That's just know your fretboard. But I like to do it this because you can go, and especially with a B, this is the one I find more often. So A was here, and you go up 2, so you find that other dot, the 9th. That's a B. So instead of this or this, it's this. So imagine, so if I went A, B, E, it would sound like this. Or you could, that's the E that I just taught you. So those are those kind of chords. So play around with that. It's really good for inspiration if you're playing with a new song that you've never worked with before. Or honestly, just especially when you're strumming full chords or little bits there, it makes this really nice, especially with acoustics. This is what you want. But even electrics, you can kind of do this. So anytime I hit find the key of E, this is what I'm most likely going to be in. So as a recap, C sharp minor, B, A, and then E, and then B, or A, sorry, the other variant, and then B, and then the extra seventh one I threw in there, which is the F sharp minor.